Chatham House in St James's Square, London, is a renowned venue for high-level, sometimes controversial debate and discussion on current issues affecting the world. Addressing the topic Algeria today and tomorrow, the UK's newly appointed ambassador to Algeria, Andrew Henderson, sounded a note of concern about proposed constitutional changes in that country, which would see the incumbent president installed for a third term.
As we await the decision on whether President Bouteflika and his colleagues are going to seek an amendment to the Constitution to allow him to run for a third term that would take him through from 2009 to 2014. There is clearly a head of steam building in that direction, and we are told that the announcement will be made either later this month or early in March. It's an interesting debate, I find, particularly for President Bouteflika, who has in the past personally been outspoken about the need for the rule of governance and law, and been critical of other African leaders who have changed constitutions to enable them to stay on. But I'm sure that with the public support that is behind him, I suspect the constitution will be amended in the near future. I have a slight concern that ordinary people seem to be losing faith in politics, though. The turnout at the May legislative elections, the official figures were around 36%, although some suspect it was rather lower than that. And in November, the local election turnout was only around 44%. And again, I think possibly that figure is a little overinflated. I'm very optimistic for Algeria in the long term, but frankly a little bit worried about the next few years. I don't anticipate a return to the bad old days of the 1990s. No one wants that. But there's lots of discussion about the past, and it seems to me not a great deal of discussion about the future. And no, I don't have any real sense of vision as to where Algeria is heading by 2015 or perhaps 2020.
Andrew Henderson said Algeria is enjoying a budget surplus of over $14 billion thanks to high oil prices, but there was still relative poverty among the general population.
When I got out to Algeria, I found very quickly that what was uppermost in most people's minds were the problems of education, housing, employment, health, and indeed the price of potatoes and milk, and inflation now officially running around 4.6%, but most of my Algerian friends would tell you it's actually a little bit higher than that. And I think in a country like Algeria, where reports are that up to 30 people a day are taking to small boats to try and make the illegal crossing over into Europe, is an indication that some sections of society are losing hope. So this is the challenge, it seems to me, for the government, is to stop this, to encourage the young, and to reverse the brain drain. I think Algeria desperately needs some of its skilled people back from the diaspora of, I think someone said to me, nearly 6 million Algerians living overseas, 3 million in France.
The ambassador also mentioned growing concern for President Bouteflika's long-term health.